Hello, my name is AG. I moved to Japan about a month ago, and I decided to make this video to share some things that I went through throughout the move and to help other people who are moving to Japan to prepare better and be ready. This video is not made to basically persuade you to come to Japan or not. This is just my observations throughout the process of moving from United States to Japan. First part I want to talk about is basically before your move, what things you need to prepare, what things you need to worry about. I would say the top things is your bank account and your credit cards. If you're trying to move to Japan, make sure all your credit cards have zero international or what they call foreign transaction fees, because honestly, that will save you a lot of trouble when you get here. A lot of people do use credit cards. You can use credit cards in a lot of stations, a lot of shops, and a lot of restaurants. Having 0% foreign transaction fees is really helpful, and you can just use that credit card here without worrying about any extra fees or any hidden stuff that you're not prepared for. Regarding your bank accounts, I would say if you're keeping your US bank account, you have to have a US address and a US phone number attached to them. So I would say try to call your bank, tell them about your situation, tell them that you're moving, how long you're gonna stay outside of the US, and just talk to them. A lot of them have a lot of good recommendations on what to do and how to be able to still use your bank and still use your money and get access to it without any issues. That takes me to actually point number 2, phone number. If you're planning to keep your phone number or you're planning to get rid of it, you can do both, but each one has its own benefit. If your bank accounts are connected to your phone number, a lot of banks don't allow you doing some stuff online without getting a confirmation by sending you a text for one-time password. So if you want that connection to still be there, you have to keep your phone number, your US phone number or any other country you're coming from. I would say maybe you can switch to a cheaper plan that you can afford on a monthly basis, activate it in the country where you are before moving to Japan, and then keep it here in case you want it. If your bank allows to use voice over IP phone numbers, I would say call them and check about that. If they allow to do that, you can easily download any of the apps that offer VoIP and basically use that. It's a lot cheaper that way, and you don't have to worry about any like physical SIM cards. Even right now, there's eSIMs anyway, so you don't have to worry about that anyway. Clothes and shoes. If you're moving to Japan, I would say invest in an updated wardrobe before you come here. If you're on the larger size, I would say large and up, it will be hard for you to find clothes in Japan. Maybe online, but it's not that many options. So I would say investing in some clothes before you come here is not a bad thing. Same things for shoes and sneakers. If you wear a large size of sneakers or shoes, I would say invest in an extra pair before you come here because it'll be hard for you to find a pair in Japan. Medicine. If you're moving to Japan and you're shipping medicine from outside the country, it is very restrictive in Japan, so it's very hard to get medicine inside the country, and usually they delay shipments from entering the country if they happen to have medicine in them. So unless it's a prescription that you need, I would say only bring the basics with you in your luggage. Do not ship them. And check the laws in Japan if you're allowed to bring the medicine inside the country or not. Usually, if you have prescription for it, make sure you have the prescription on you and your name is on the medicine itself to make sure that it's for you. You shouldn't have any problems, but I would say be very strict about that. Customs declaration. If you're coming to Japan and you're shipping your furniture and items with you from outside the country, on the flight, you need to ask the flight attendant to give you 2 custom declaration forms. You need to fill out both forms and fill the box that says unaccompanied items. When you fill that box, they're going to ask you for the number of packages that you're sending to Japan. You need both forms to be sealed by the TSA officer in the Japan airport, in Haneda or whatever, Narita or whatever airport you're coming through. And they're going to give you one of those documents. Those documents you need to keep with you. You cannot get another one if you lose it. You need to keep it with you, and when your things are going to come to Japan, you need to give it to the moving company that's going to handle your things. This way, your things are not going to get taxed at the border. Also, if you're bringing money with you, The limit right now of cash that you can bring with you inside Japan is 1 million yen. So if you're planning to bring more than that, you have to declare it on the declaration form. Visit Japan Web. A few days before you board your flight, make sure to check Visit Japan Web. It's a web app from the Japanese government that allows you to input all your information and make your process of entering the country a lot easier. On the app, you can put your information, you can put your COVID vaccine information, you can put your test information, you can do everything that you will do at TSA in Japan on the app, and that will save you so much time. If you put your COVID vaccine information on Visit Japan Web app, they will give you a QR code. That QR code you can show to them once you exit the airplane in Tokyo, or that's how it was in Haneda Airport. They'll give you a piece of paper. That piece of paper allows you to skip the first step when you enter in Japan and go straight to the immigration office. In Japan. So there's a bunch of things you can prepare for your life in Japan. I've noted these things for myself, what helped me, what things I wish I knew earlier. First thing is cash and card. If you're coming to Japan, if you're moving to Japan, it's good for you to have both options, cash and cards. There's a lot of places in Tokyo that use cards, credit cards, but also a lot of places that don't. So make sure you have both. If you want to convert your money into Japanese yen, make sure to check that before coming here. A lot of banks offer you conversion with better rates than actual money exchange places at the airport. So I would say talk to your bank ahead of time. They usually need about a week notice to prepare the money for you, and they usually have better rates than exchange currencies places at the airport. And also, as I said before, make sure your credit cards have zero foreign transaction fees. Phone number. So if you're gonna live in Japan, you definitely need a Japanese phone number. There's a couple companies in Japan that I saw that they have English support. One of them that I use is Mobile by SoftBank. They can ship your SIM card to you internationally before you enter Japan, and then you can activate it online and tell them to activate it on the day where you enter Japan. For that, you need to show them some sort of ID and they'll ship it for you. It takes a few business days, about a week, I believe. You can also order the SIM online and just pick it up at the airport in Japan, and you can just go to the kiosk, pick it up, and then activate it online. Public transportation. I'm pretty sure you've heard a lot about Japan's public transportation and how heavily it's utilized. I believe their train public transportation system is the most used in the world. I think the number one. Basically, you can go anywhere using the train system and the buses. One of the easiest ways to plan your trip is actually by using Google Maps. Google Maps here is very useful. You can just put where you are and put where you're going, and it'll tell you exactly which train to take, what time, and all that kind of stuff. At your train station, there are multiple ways you can buy tickets to go into that train station to use the train. You can either use ticket kiosks. At the ticket kiosk, you can basically look at the map, see where you are, and see which station you're going to. It will tell you how much it's going to cost, and you just purchase a ticket with that cost. So it doesn't say which stops you're going to, it just says that ticket is going to cost this much. So you buy that ticket at the turnstile, you can just insert that ticket, pick it up on the way back out. When you get to your station, you insert it again, and you're not going to pick it up. That will be the end of it, basically. Or you can buy something called IC cards. IC cards are very convenient. IC cards, you basically put money, cash on the card, and then you can just scan the card in and out, and it will just deduct the money from the card. You don't have to worry about anything like that. If you happen to buy a ticket that doesn't have enough money on it, or if your IC cards doesn't have enough money on it, there are usually kiosks or machines that you can use to adjust your rate. You can put more money on your card, or you can pay more to exit the station. So you don't have to worry about that much. If you're visiting Japan, if you're not moving, if you're visiting Japan, it'll be good to invest in a pass, a JR pass or something like that. There's different kinds of passes that you can use depending on where you're going in Japan. Like if you're gonna stay in Tokyo, there are passes. We can pay a certain amount for a week, and you can just enter any train, use any train, or use any. Some of them actually also give you access to Shinkansen, which is the bullet train. So I would say look into that before you come here. If you're coming for a visit, not for a stay, you can invest in that. But if you're gonna live here, I would say invest in the IC cards, which is either Suica or Pasmo. Both of them are the same. You can actually use both at other places other than the train system, like grocery stores, convenience stores, and anything like that. If you're gonna live in Japan, or if you're visiting Japan, check for events on Google. There's a lot of things happening around you all the time. There's always a festival, there's always something happening, there's always a museum to visit. Just go on Google and just look for events in this place near me, or an event about culture near me, or event I don't know, in Tokyo, you know. There's always something happening, so just Google. There's so many things you can visit that you wouldn't know about unless you just do a little bit of research. Convenience and grocery stores. There's almost always a convenience store and a grocery store in walking distance from where you live, at least in Tokyo. Having a car is not unnecessary here. Anything you want can either be delivered or you can just walk to it, and it's a small walking distance. Convenience stores are usually open 24 hours. If you're looking for a late night snack or you're just jet lagged and you're hungry, you can just walk there. So no need to have a car. Everything can just be either delivered or in walking distance. Japanese language. So I would say I've been here for about a month and I don't speak Japanese. I speak a little bit, just beginner level, and I'm able to get by without it for a little bit. But something that really helped me, at least when I first got here, is knowing kanji. Knowing just the basic kanji about like what's an entrance, what's an exit, what's this, what's that, like just the basic ones, like a small knowledge of kanji if you're moving to Japan can really be helpful. But other than that, if you're gonna be in a city area like Tokyo, knowing English is good enough sometimes, but it does not hurt to learn some basic Japanese phrases or words or sentences that you think you're gonna use on a regular basis, like how to order food, or how to ask a taxi to go somewhere, or how to, you know, ask for help or ask for directions. This is really helpful and can save you a lot of time. Also, Google Translate app is very good. If you have a good connection, you can just use the app to translate any sentence you want, or if there's a sign or there's a product that you want to buy, you can just switch to the camera on the Google Translate app and it will translate on the fly what it sees on the camera. And it's very helpful when you're shopping in convenience stores or in restaurants or anything like that. Safety. In general, I would say Japan is pretty safe, but that does not mean there's zero crimes in it. I would say be careful, try to be with someone at night. If you have to be alone, make sure you're in popular areas, not in like creepy alleyways. But in general, Japan is a lot safer than different countries. Yeah, so I just wanted to put this together quickly just to share some tips with people who are moving to Japan or in the process of moving to Japan. And if you have any questions, please comment it. I would be more than happy to answer. I'm going through this process right now. Like I'm still looking for apartments. I'm still figuring out how to settle here. And I'm thinking about making this series every few months just to make sure I update people with anything that might help them and make their process of moving to Japan a lot easier. So yeah, comment down if you have any questions. If you have any comments about the video, please let me know as well. Like, share, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.